This Q&A covers questions on sodium intake, dirty bulking, chest building tips, low-calorie diets, and much more. So sit back, shut up, and enjoy. Just kidding about the shut up part. Myron? What's going on, YouTube? Matty with FusaroFitness. Yeah, that is the FusaroFitness logo on a shirt, and it says Limitless on the back. This is just a prototype, by the way. These aren't for sale yet. Messing with some designs to get what I like perfectly so you guys can go ahead and purchase some nice stuff. But anyway, part 2 to the Q&A. I did part 1 a couple of days ago. I'll link that on the screen in case you missed it. And we're going to jump right into the questions. First one from Jude Spencer. What's your experience with casein protein? Me, personally, fucks my stomach up. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't sit well in my stomach. If you're asking if you need casein protein, like at night, because it's slow digesting and all that shit, no. As long as you're getting enough protein through whole foods and supplementation if need be, that's fine. You don't need to supplement with casein. Eco Martashavili. Sorry, bro. What is your training split and what do you think about periodization? I think periodization is important in training. And me personally, I'm working with coaches right now, the strength guys. So they create my program for me, working around my injuries, which are 2 herniated discs and spondylosis in my lumbar spine. So not really doing any lower body work right now, but we're going to try and slowly ease my way into it. Gustavo Vega, how many workouts, reps, sets do you do for each body part? And do you rest between sets? If yes, how long? Like I said in the previous question, I'm working with coaches, so they set up my workout routine. Rep sets for each body part is going to be different for each individual depending on your goals, and rest time depends on what style of training you're doing. If you're powerlifting, you may need 3 to 5 minutes between each set. If you are doing bodybuilding or hypertrophy work, maybe 60 to 90 seconds. If you're looking for metabolic stress, maybe less time than that. So again, all depends on what your goals are and what your training looks like. Brian Barros Caldas. Hey Matty, I'm cutting. Should I keep my protein high to preserve the muscle? Protein usually stays static when you're cutting or bulking. What changes may be your fats and definitely your carbs. So as long as you're getting around 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight per day, that should be sufficient. Just don't create too big of a calorie deficit. That's going to help you preserve muscle when cutting. Alright. John Ferrara, I feel like I'm not making significant progress in my benching or in chest movements overall. What do you suggest to help build my chest? What are you doing for your chest? I would hope bench pressing of some sort, whether it be dumbbell or barbell. Are you progressing? Are you eating enough to support your training? How frequently are you working out your chest? I'm a big fan of frequency. If you're only doing it once per week, once per week, up that to twice per week, maybe even 3 times. Are you making it a priority? Are you doing it in the beginning of your workout, at the end of your workout, after shoulders? Make it a priority. If benching is something you want to bring up, if chest is a lagging body part, place more emphasis on your chest. Mickey King, or maybe Mikey. Probably Mickey though. What is a good way to increase shoulder mobility? YouTube search shoulder mobility. You'll probably find a ton of stuff. One of my favorite things is shoulder dislocates. I just happen to have a hockey shaft here, but in essence you'd be going like this and going behind your back like that. But I'm not a big fan of doing it with a fixed solid object like this or like a dowel rod. If you have bands, those are perfect. They stretch and just go over like that. Do around the worlds like that, and that should be a pretty decent shoulder warm-up, but I would definitely recommend looking up some videos. I'm sure you'll find a ton of stuff out there. Pashte rules. What's the point of isolation movements when you have compound movements? What's the point of a treadmill when you have an elliptical? Nah, but for real, yes, compound movements are great. They should be the focus of your workout. They work multiple muscles. Let's take the barbell bench press, for example. If you're doing it correctly, your feet are planted on the ground. You might be using leg drive, and you're squeezing your glutes, and you're tightening your lats, and you're working your triceps, and your chest, and your shoulders. Great, you're able to move a lot of weight. But what if you want to just hit your chest? Target your chest a little bit more. Do a fly, a cable fly or a dumbbell fly. You could place more emphasis on the pecs. Now, you can't completely isolate a muscle entirely, but you can, again, place more emphasis on it. That's why people do incline bench press, to really work their upper chest. So, isolation movements have their place, especially if you're a bodybuilder or a physique competitor and you need to have show muscles, and you have muscle imbalances, muscle weaknesses. These are where isolation movements come into play. They help develop a well-rounded physique. DJ Tommy missed Monaco. Hey Matty, big fan. Question for you. How long are you in the gym for, and on average, how many sets per workout? It's going to differ for everyone. However many sets you need, if you're increasing your frequency and hitting each muscle twice per week, you can cut back on the sets. How long are you in the gym for? About an hour, hour and a half, depending on my workout. Andrew Ream, what are your thoughts on low-carb diets and muscular athletic aesthetics? Do you think they complement each other or not so much? Personally, not a fan of low-carb diets. I think people should diet on as many carbs as possible while reaching their goals, especially for athletics. If you're looking for aesthetics, you can go low-carb. I still don't recommend that. You will probably lose weight and get shredded because you're almost eliminating a complete macronutrient. But I think carbs have their place. They're great for strength training. They're great for mental focus. They're great to keep your muscles looking full. So if you can get cut, if you can get aesthetic on high carbs, that's the way to go. Jason Murph, what's your thought on mixing powerlifting and bodybuilding like Michael Hearn does? You can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to do bodybuilding and strength style training and powerlifting, that's completely fine. Just focus on whatever your primary goal is. I would place more emphasis on, but you could definitely combine the two. George Diaz, I have some craze left over. Is it safe to finish? He used one of those yellow faces like that. I'm not going to tell you what supplements to take and not take, so it's going to be your call, buddy. Abdullah Mahabibi Jacob. Whenever I do bench press, I feel pressure mostly in my arms rather than my chest. Any help? What's the best exercise for quads? Talk about a little deviation there. All right, first part of the question, bench press. Where are you feeling pressure? Ace Ventura. Feeling pressure, you say, is it in your delts or is it in your triceps? If it's in your triceps, you are probably gripping the bar too narrow and you are doing a close grip bench press. If you're feeling it in your shoulders, your scapula is probably not retracted enough. So those are two things to focus on. And as far as better quads, squats, hack squats, front squats. Josh Callahan, what's your take on high daily sodium intake levels? Just add water with a question mark? As long as you're consistent with your sodium, if you don't have any medical conditions that require you to monitor your sodium intake, you should be fine if you're just consistent day in and day out. Make sure you're getting foods with high potassium. Eat your potatoes, avocados, bananas, and drink plenty of water, and you should be completely fine. And just add water. Just drink water when you're thirsty. Leon Laddie, will I get results faster by dirty bulking instead of lean bulking? And 3 people like that. My personal opinion, again, this is my opinion. I don't see the need for dirty bulking. You can only put on so much muscle per week, month, or year. And by dirty bulking, you may get bigger faster, but a lot of that is just going to be fat, which someday you're going to have to strip off anyway. So, in my opinion, the best approach would be make it a process. Make it a long process in a small caloric surplus and just try and gain as much muscle as possible while gaining as least amount of fat as possible. So, gain muscle while minimizing fat gain. That's my approach. Take it slow. Syed Hashmi, how do you feel about grilling beef or chicken on a Foreman grill, especially if you aren't sure about the fat content? If you're getting boneless, skinless chicken breast, it's going to have little to no fat as long as you trim it off any white on the meat. And as far as beef goes, it depends on your cut of beef. I'm not sure what you're referring to, but check out MyFitnessPal to get those values. And sure, I think using the Foreman grill is excellent. We got Anthony Hernandez. Matt, what is your recommendation of a program you could do at home if you have the weights, bar, and power racks at home? An example, bench press for pressing, squat rack for squatting. I mean, do you really need anything else to get a good workout in at home? Thanks, big dog. Keep up the awesome work. If you have access to that stuff in your own house and you have enough weight, you don't really need anything else. With a bench, a barbell, and a squat rack, you can squat, you can deadlift, you can overhead press, you could bench press, you could do skull crushes, you could do curls, you could do bent over rows. Again, as long as you have enough weight that you're still making progress. So you really don't need anything else. I would hit a full body workout 3 times a week, and you could see crazy results by doing that. 2 more questions. Brandon Darling, what's the best way to come back from a stupid low calorie intake for a long period of time? Start eating more. You're going to have to reverse out of that. Your metabolic rate has probably slowed down from a low calorie diet. Increasing your calories slowly over time will bring your metabolic rate back up. Add a little bit of carbs, maybe 10 or 15 grams the first week. Make it a slow process. Maybe add a couple of grams of fat and just monitor your weight and body composition over time, and your metabolic rate should come back by adding more food over time. And last question, Trent Whalen, how do you motivate people that may be self-conscious and working out in a gym with people far more advanced in their goals than they are? Well, Trent, listen here. Trent, if this is you asking this question seriously, I've been self-conscious, I've been embarrassed, I've had low self-esteem, I wore a shirt when I went swimming in a pool, I've been through all that shit before. My biggest advice is, if you are going to a gym, forget about what everyone else around you is doing. Don't compare yourself to them. Let them make progress. Let them reach their goals. And if they're worried about what you're doing in the gym, if they're pointing a finger, if they're laughing at you, they have a shit ton more insecurities than you do. So do that to everyone around you in the gym. If they're looking at you weird or making fun of you, drown them out. Put your headphones in and focus on yourself. The gym it's a selfish sport, bodybuilding, trying to reach your physique goals, but it's a good selfish. You're doing this for you, not for other people around you. So that's my advice. Forget about what other people think, because they don't matter. They're not trying to reach the same goals you are. You're not trying to reach the same goals they are. So focus on yourself and forget about what everyone else thinks. Hopefully that answered your question. If you want to be part of these Q&As, maybe I'll do like a Q&A proposal on YouTube so I can get some of your guys' questions. I know not all of you have Facebook, but on the FusaroFitness Facebook fan page, the link in the description below is where I post when I say ask your questions. People ask on that post. So make sure you're on that page so you can be part of the next Q&A. I'll try and do these a little bit more often if you guys like them. If you want me to do them more often, just give the video a like. Click the thumbs up button. I'd be more than happy to keep doing these. So thanks always for the continued support. Visit FusaroFitness.com. Get yourself a free copy of my ebook. And that's it. So until next time, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Shirt's coming soon. 12 and a half minutes deep and you're still here watching. I love you guys. Thank you always for the continued support. I really appreciate it. The only thing left to do is just hit that like button. And if you want to watch the last Q&A, go ahead and click it right there on the screen. I appreciate it, guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.